goodness, the selection for Sydney was a lot different to what it ended up being for the latter Olympic Games. Actually, we were in Barcelona on a tour, so away from home, and there was, I think, 18 players out there. So we weren't necessarily sure how many of that squad out there were going to get selected. You know, whether there was some at home that could have still made the cut. But yeah, we were just sat in a room, and the coach John Royce stood at the front and read out the surnames in alphabetical order. And I just remember sitting there, like, with a few of my teammates either side, and we were kind of sat in rows, and all I was thinking was just, obviously trying to wait for Richardson, and I was because my name's quite towards the end of the alphabet, I didn't have a clue who else had got selected, which was awful, because obviously, then once he's finished reading out the names, then you're sitting there thinking, are they in, and like literally, and so it was a very interesting way of doing it, and then of course we had to travel home, and it was also, I didn't really feel like I could celebrate in that moment, but I do remember kind of after that meeting taking myself off to the toilet in this hotel and just like having a little moment, which was a little bit surreal, and then the Olympics itself was incredible. I must say, it was billed as going to be the greatest sporting show on earth, and I think it absolutely lived up to that expectation. It was just incredible from the opening ceremony right through to the end. In terms of the Olympics itself, walking out into the opening ceremony of 110,000 people, I'll never forget the noise, this wall of noise when they said Great Britain and the whole team entered into the stadium, the cheers and the noise, and it was just amazing, absolutely incredible, something I will never ever forget. And then, the hockey for us overall was disappointing. We didn't play to our potential. I don't think anywhere near what we could have done. But, I think teams finish where they deserve to finish. So that's, we finished 8th in the end, and that was disappointing. But I'll never forget our first game. We played Australia in our first game. Kind of first time you've got the Olympic rings on your shirt, and yeah, again, full packed house. The crowd were incredible in that tournament, and it was just an incredible memory. And I feel incredibly lucky as well to have Sydney as my first Olympic Games. Going to Australia for the first time, and the Aussies really loved their sport, and they were, pretty good at it back then as well. So it was a truly magical Games for me, for sure. Yeah, the Olympics is different from any other tournament. I think first and foremost for a home nation country, we compete as Great Britain, which makes it just that little bit more special. Well, in fact, a lot more special. To get selected is harder, and to play for Great Britain feels different, feels good. And then to go to an Olympic Games, obviously, it feels so different from the outset, because first of all, you're now competing as part of Team GB. You've got all these other sports and athletes coming all, from across the country, and coming together to create this bigger team. And I think in Sydney, it didn't have quite as good a team feel as it ended up being for London and Rio. That was something actually I think has really developed and grown and has changed over the years, and has now become a huge strength, I believe, of Team GB. But in terms of the Olympic Games itself, you're staying in an Olympic village, and all the other athletes are staying there as well, and you've got a dining hall that seats 5,000 people. It's open 24/7. You can literally go there whenever you like, and there's a McDonald's in the Olympic Village as well, which people are often surprised about. And the queue gets longer and longer as the tournament goes on, as people finish their events and they can now relax a little bit. but yeah, and you get to stay in the apartments as well with your team, and you know, kind of Team GB, depending on what the village looks like, will have their block, as it were, and you've just got all these amazing, incredible athletes around you. And I will never forget the first time I kind of went into the dining hall in Sydney, and I just remember seeing this massive, I don't know what it was, maybe a wrestler or something like that. It was huge. He must have been about 7 foot. It was so wide, and he's plonking down 7 steaks to eat for his breakfast, and you know, he clearly needed all the protein he could get. And then you've got these tiny little gymnasts walking around as well, and just the difference that was surrounding us within that environment was incredible. It just goes to show that there is a sport for everybody in that case. You know, it isn't no kind of one size fits all. There is something for everybody, and all that difference in this one place just shows the amazingness of people and human beings, and actually what we are capable of.